A Trump campaign spokesperson went on the show Rising on Hill TV with Crystal and Sagar. And he tried to act like Trump would be going to the left of Biden on criminal justice issues. Now, I want you to pay close attention here because Crystal sort of just nonchalantly, without even trying, exposes this guy. Exposes him as just, it's a political ploy. So let's see what he has to say, and then we'll discuss.
Trump campaign is capitalizing on Joe Biden's Breakfast Club gaffe with a $1 million ad buy. The campaign created 2 ads, with one directly centered on the gaffe itself, another focusing on Biden's role in the 1994 crime bill.
Indeed, that is part of the campaign's overall initiative to win over black voters, which also includes hosting shows like Black Voices for Trump. Director of Strategic Communications for the Trump campaign, Marc Lotter, joins us now via Skype to discuss this strategy. Great to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Marc.
Good to see you.
All right, so tell us, what are the plans here?
Well, this is just the beginning, and I think it's important for voters to fully understand and know Joe Biden's background, whether it is just the recent comments that he's made or his involvement in the crime bill, his previous support and alignment with segregationists, the fact that he opposes charter schools, things that mean a lot to the black community. And we'll do it with the black community. We're going to do it with the labor community. We'll do it with anyone that's going to listen, because this is going to be a choice.
Can you just dig into the specifics there a little bit more? So obviously, the president signed First Step Act into law. You said you want to point out Joe Biden's record in terms of that 94 crime bill and other sort of law and order legislation that he was involved with. What is the president running on in terms of criminal justice reform, and what is the distinction that you want to draw with Joe Biden on those issues specifically?
Well, I think first and foremost, the crime bill resulted in a large mass incarceration of black Americans. It also caused 3 strikes and sentencing, those kinds of things, which you saw greatly be reduced and undone under the president's First Step Act. You saw a great majority of the people who were released from prison were black prisoners who are now free. We've seen so many of those stories over the years of people who are now reunited with their families, out becoming productive members of society, having jobs and things like that. So I think it's going to be a very powerful message. It's something that the president's very proud of, and we want to do more.
What are the more steps? I mean, where does he stand on marijuana legalization or descheduling, decriminalizing at this point? What are the additional steps beyond what was called the first step? What's the next step?
Well, I think that's something that they're going to be working on throughout this campaign. We're going to continue to roll that out. I'm going to let the White House and the president actually get into the details of what they're going to propose. It's not something we're prepared to do right now. We'll get there as the campaign unfolds, but that's not something we're going to do today. But the reason why it was called the First Step Act was because it was the first step. And the president has said that we need to do more. We need to continue taking more steps. And I think the president is someone that the black community can trust to do it, because they've seen him do it once already.
I love that, the way that unfolded. All right, so what? You're going to the left of Biden on criminal justice issues. Explain. What are you going to do? What's the plan? Well, see, what happened was we did the thing, which was the first step, and then they're going to be the next step, and then what we do is we make sure that... Thank you, sir. You're not saying anything. So in other words, you're like, we don't have a plan. We're not going to say anything. We're not going to focus on that. But we are going to say that we're kind of going to the left of Biden on this stuff. But you're not going to do anything. Listen, I'll make a prediction right now. Ain't going to be no next step act. Ain't going to be no second step act. It's not going to happen. They're going to do the first step, and then we're donezo. Dunskies. They're not doing another one. So, and I think deep down, homeboy knows it. And so he's like trying to, well, I'm going to leave it to them when they want to do the thing and make sure that they'll announce but we're definitely going to the left of Biden. Look at the list they went through. Oh, Biden was involved in the crime bill. Biden aligned with segregationists. Biden opposes charter schools. Now, by the way, opposing charter schools is good. They escape all accountability. We should have a situation where you fully fund and have beautiful, operational public schools. That's what we should have. It's not like, oh, they're underfunded, so let's create all these totally new schools that are unaccountable now. So to bring that up as like, well, this is like a main thing. He put that right next to aligning with segregationists. I think aligning with segregationists is bad. But like the involvement in the crime bill. Agreed, that's terrible. And he's, Crystal brings up like, Biden used to be like a law and order kind of Democrat. Trump in 2016 ran on law and order. He spoke about it all the time. Like, we're going to bring back law. We're going to bring back law and order. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be tremendous. Like, that's one of the things he does as well. So a lot of these arguments they're in bad faith, because if Trump was in Congress at the time, if Trump was in the Senate at the time, he definitely would have voted for the crime bill. Republicans love the crime bill. So it's just, if you're not talking about, hey, we're going to pardon all the nonviolent drug offenders, or we're going to legalize drugs, we're going to take it off the list of schedule, banned substances, and you have Schedule 1, Schedule 2, so on and so forth. We're going to take it off the list. It's gone. Then you're not going to do Dickie McGee's acts. And don't pretend like you're going to pivot to the left of Biden. Trump's done with the, I'll give him credit for the First Step Act. I'll give him credit for pardoning Alice Johnson. But they're not going to do anything else on it. And if you're not going to free every nonviolent drug offender, and you're not going to legalize marijuana, or at the very least decriminalize it, then shut up, because you're not pivoting to the left of anybody. Now, I'm not going to give Biden credit on any of that stuff either, because he's not going to do Dickie McGee's acts either. He's not going to legalize marijuana. He's not going to free all the nonviolent drug offenders. So I'm not going to praise him on that, but I'm also not going to give Trump the credence of saying, oh, he's going to the left of Biden on those issues, because he's not. He's not going to the left of Biden. He's not going anywhere. But this shows you perfectly. You have Trump, the campaigner, and you have Trump as he governs. There's a version of Trump that's the campaigner, and there's a version of Trump that, like, how he governs. And the governing aspect, by and large, on most issues, is very standard Republican politics. Now, the issue of criminal justice is a rare issue where he did move away from Republican orthodoxy. But I guarantee you now, moving forward, there is no going further left on this issue. He's done with it. That's it. So, you'll have all the posturing in the world. Like, Trump might also start posturing more on trade deals again. Well, guess what? 93,000 jobs were outsourced in his first year as president. So he can do all the posturing he wants. But ultimately, the way he governs is what matters. And you can give him credit for the First Step Act. You can give him credit for pardoning Alice Johnson and doing stuff like that. I always give credit where credit is due. But let's not pretend he's going to legalize marijuana. Neither one of them are going to legalize marijuana. Neither one of them are going to free all the nonviolent drug offenders. So really, he's just using this as a campaign issue. And I will say, it is smart politics in the sense that, yeah, it can help depress the left-wing base. Because it's just reminding the left-wing base, like, oh, this guy's not with you on those issues at all. So, again, I think they're full of it in acting like they're going to do anything else. They're not. But it's smart politics in that it's basically showing a tendency of Trump and his campaign to, like, hey, what if I were to pretend to be left of him on these issues? And that could be enough to depress turnout, because we know turnout is already depressed when it comes to young people, at least. Older voters are coming out in droves for Biden. But it'll be an interesting dynamic to see what else he does this on moving forward.